So there are opportunities in my life all the time to try to be thoughtfully fit, and there are times when I succeed, and there are times when I don't. And I'll tell you, for those of you who have been watching videos and following on my blog and Thoughtfully Fit Thursdays, you know that the core of being thoughtfully fit is to pause, think, and act. And I can't tell you how many times I use this in my life. Let me give you an example. I recently accomplished a big goal that I had set out 7 years ago to become a certified speaking professional with the National Speakers Association. It took me 7 years to be able to achieve all of the requirements and be able to submit and ultimately receive that designation. And there was a big award ceremony at the NSA conference in Denver. And there were 41 of us. There were about 1,500 people at the conference, and 41 of us received this designation. So they told us to come early. The ceremony was starting at 3:30. They told us to come at 2:45 in order to do a walkthrough and get set up. And so at 2:45 we sat and they talked about what's going to happen, and they'll open the doors at 3:15. And when they do, we should all come back and go to the back of the stage, and they'll give us further instructions at that time. So at 3:15, they opened the doors, everybody was streaming in, finding seats, and I went to the backstage. And I get to the backstage and I take the stairs down, and there's my colleagues who are all earning that same designation, sort of standing around lined up, and this woman comes up to me who was a volunteer for the organization, and she says, what number are you? Where are you supposed to be? And I felt attacked. You guys, she was so harsh and I'm like, oh, I don't know. I just got here. I don't know what number I am. Well, where are you supposed to be? And I said, I don't know, behind stage. They just said at the meeting to come back behind stage at 3:15. Oh, she says. Oh my God, I felt like I was being scolded, and the negativity and the energy, and in that moment I wanted to shut down. I wanted to lash out. I wanted to be like, what is your problem? All I did was follow directions. All these emotions were running through, you guys. I felt embarrassed as she's yelling at me in front of everybody, and I didn't even know what I did wrong. And in that moment, I was like, Darcy, pause. Take a breath. Think, what's going on here? She is stressed out. She's overwhelmed. The ceremony is going to start in 10 minutes. Just don't take this personally. Just follow directions. Just smile. Just be calm. Don't add fuel to the fire. Add water. And I literally had to keep pausing and thinking about how I wanted to show up in that moment and actively self-manage, because I was getting worked up, and I was able then to act from a place of calm. And I smiled and I said, I'll go wherever you need me to go. I'm so sorry if there was instructions that I didn't know about, but all I was told was to come back to behind stage. And I tried very hard to remain a non-anxious presence, which is one of the concepts that I learned studying the family emotional systems work that I did in Chicago. How can I show up as a non-anxious presence? I don't need to add fuel to this. She doesn't need me to get all worked up. And so after standing there for 2 or 3 minutes, somebody came over and said, hey, can you come to the other side and line up with the half of the people over there? Oh my God, I was so happy to leave, because they each had a volunteer each side. I was so happy because the negativity and it was just like, it was eating away at me. And I thought, okay, that was the universe conspiring to support me and I went to the other side, and the volunteer there was as sweet as pie, and she said, okay, here's what we're going to do, and she had this calm voice and lined us up. The ceremony went off without a hitch. It was wonderful. It was exciting, but there was still that remnant of being yelled at. I don't like to be yelled at. It brings me back to 4th grade when Miss Gillis yelled at me in class. And so that is an example of where it didn't just come naturally. I literally had to tell myself in the moment, pause, think, act thoughtfully. So that's my message for you today on this Thoughtfully Fit Thursday, to just remind yourself. I've got a little screen cleaner on the back of my phone that says pause, think, act. That's a sticker that reminds me. I've got it as the backdrop on my website, on my phone, on my iPhone, to constantly remind me. So if you feel like you need a reminder, thank goodness you're human. I do too. I look forward to seeing you next week for our Thoughtfully Fit Thursday. Thank you so much. I'm Darcy Loma. Have a fabulous weekend, everybody.